Michael and Christina spend less and less time with each other during the week. They eat separately, have separate bedrooms, and have few conversations with each other. But at the weekend, things change.
At first we struggled through it. Weekends were 72 hours of relief, but that soon began to fade away. I found a brochure in his drawers on gender realignment. He said it was probably a practical joke that one of his mates had put there, but it wasn't. Since the whole pedo thing, he had no mates.
We've had a few arguments about the incident. I can assure you I've not considered altering my gender. I haven't given up on a cure.
Our advice to Mike would be to seriously consider a number of gender remodification packages carried out by such excellent companies such as Rebellion. They offer counselling, excellent surgery, and they will even hide your appendage before the operation. I should know, I had a friend who had it done. But he's dead now.
The arguments between the couple have increased in frequency and intensity as time has gone on.
It's like it's not my fault!
I don't want you asking my sister if you can borrow a dress. Just because she's pregnant, it doesn't mean it's going to fit. You have already ruined 3 of mine, and one of those with my wedding dress. You're ruining your life and you're ruining my life.
Your life? What about me? It's me in this situation, not you. How about me?
It's the marriage, Mike, the marriage. Where's my other bra?
A pyromaniac and the state pension are not two things that sit with each other easily. Alf has fought his urges for several months, but it now seems he is destined to lose his battle against pyromania and the professor. The only thing which does help Alfred keep his pyromania under control is listening to the Bradshaws. However, time is running out as he has nearly finished the last series.
Listen.
Audrey, get that, will you?
Oh, for Pete's sake, Alf, I'm in the kitchen.
I'm trying to watch the Bradshaws.
Politics. What is a general erection? Well, that's an hard one.
Alf, the bowling green's been vandalised.
What?
The bowling green has Father Quinlan in the Gaylord written on it. Eileen said it was a fire.
Not until you're 21, love.
Oh, bugger off, Audrey.
So where does this leave us in our quest to find why Professor Cassiopeia did the things he did? We met up with the one person who knew him better than anybody else. The man who was also the source of much of the information about the professor's death. His brother, Kenneth Norman.
We were born into a house full of magic and trickery. My father would always be making things disappear. A book, a chair, his money for tax purposes, my mother. But then we grew older and realised he was just throwing them over his shoulder at high speeds. Except my mother, she genuinely left. But he only hit her once in 15 years of marriage. It's better than most women who live in Euston.
Ken's younger brother's obsession with the paranormal grew when the family discovered they were sharing their 3-bedroom semi with a poltergeist. Haunted by ghostly apparitions and abused during the night, it was then the young Professor Cassiopeia was told to become a hypnotist.
It wasn't a poltergeist, it was a 43-year-old heroin addict from Grimsby. He went by the name of Duncan. He'd been squatting in our loft space for 2 years, so mystery solved. We made friends, naturally, and he became a permanent tenant, which was good for my dad because it meant he could use him for tax-deductible purposes. I don't know how. My brother became convinced he was to be a hypnotist. He practised all day and all night, he read the books, tried out on animals. That didn't work, too many died in the aftermath. But that didn't put him off, he was so determined.
However, The Norman household was to receive a shock when Bryant, Ken's father, lost his job as an insurance salesman. Plunged into poverty, the Normans found life tough. Both Ken and the young Professor Cassiopeia were bullied relentlessly at school.
Then everything changed. Father started drinking heavily. We couldn't afford a TV licence, so he used to beat us for entertainment. He'd shout, "It'll do you good! Knock some sense into you!" But it didn't. Just made us more stupid as time went on.
But the terrible abuse both boys suffered at home turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Struggling with schoolwork, Ken and his brother were placed in special needs classes, an opportunity for the young professor to try out his hypnotic skills.
He became so good at hypnotising other mentalists that every class was like a circus. Hilarious. He'd have kids saying, "Fat!" at the end of each sentence. "Fat!" Like that. And this one fat kid, Joe, spent all day, every day, with his mouth open because he thought he would get measles. He did get measles. Spent the rest of the year in hospital. We never saw him again.
Both boys left school with ambitions of being a double act, but the question of what exactly Kenneth would offer hung over their working relationship. When a proposal to appear in a stage show in Morecambe came the professor's way, Ken was left behind.
As time went on, I became less of an assistant and more of an easy target. I needed to get out, get a real job. So I joined KFC.
As a lone star, Professor Cassiopeia's career as a hypnotist skyrocketed. A minor celebrity, the professor was a success story in Morecambe, but the lights of Blackpool shone too bright.
He became a big hit in Blackpool. Sold the Tower Theatre out 3 nights in a row in 1993, and no one's ever done that, and he was still 20. But with the fame came the drugs, women, parking tickets, and ingrowing toenails. Last time I saw him was on his birthday in Blackpool 5 years ago. He was playing a special gig to raise money to invade Iraq. I saw him in his dressing room. There was coke all over. He was in a state, drunk and bragging about the people he'd turned into slaves by hypnotising them. He built up a lot of bad blood.
After his death, Professor Cassiopeia left Kenneth his worldly goods, which consisted of a suitcase of dirty underpants and his diaries. After a quick rinse, Ken was able to reveal to us why the professor targeted Mike and Alf.
June the 17th. Didn't say the year. Another night at the Blackpool Royal. I went for my PSD. It's pre-show dump. And found some bloke in my cubicle. He said to take it easy on him. It was his stag do. I kept my calm. I sat down and found he'd pissed on the seat and taken the toilet roll. I could hear them laughing at me. I robed up and took the most dear thing from him, his manlyhood. Not his penis.
From the professor's diary entries from the summer of 2006, he makes one stark reference to the circus ape he calls Alf, his overwhelming arrogance and his repeated habit of picking his nose and wiping it on the therapy chair.
Scars last a lifetime, until the flesh is burnt away. Those were his last words regarding Alf. He was deeply troubled. I can't condone the things that my brother has done, but I can't give him a happy childhood either. I've no doubt the two men you're filming are living unhappy lives, but so did my brother.
How did he die?
Strepsils.
What, he choked?
No, he took an overdose. He died doing the thing he loved the most.